Welcome to NewUWomen family. My name is Sean Spainhour. I'm the Director of Digital Marketing here at NewUWomen, and with me is a pleasure to have the Director, the Creator of NewUWomen, Katherine Garfield. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
So we're here today because we got some incredibly exciting news. Next year, in January, we had the launch of NewUWomen podcast.
Yes.
And this is something that is really the speed and momentum that this has gone has been so impressive. Mm-hmm. But can you tell me first, what gave you the idea of NewUWomen? Why did you create NewUWomen? And give me the story behind it.
So I had been in the industry in network marketing for 11 years, and I always wanted to have that female support, that group. And one of the reasons why I got into network marketing was I didn't feel fulfilled in my other career, in my other job. And I find that a lot in a lot of women's lives, that they're not living in that full fulfillment. So when I got into network marketing, I thought that would be like my answer. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't find it still. It still wasn't there for me, and I just felt like alone building. And you go through these obstacles of growth and mindset growth when you're building a business. And without having that support, it gets really lonely. So I decided to start a group at the time. It was just like 15 women, and they would get on a Zoom with me. We would start like a Facebook group, and before I knew it, it just started to organically grow into 15 to 800 to 1,500 women that were all organically just adding each other. You know, we didn't announce it, we didn't put it out there, and then I was like, whoa, I need to actually make this something. Like, it didn't even have a name. So I was like, let's call it NewUWomen, you know? So that's kind of how it all unraveled at first, the first, couple of months.
Now, how would you describe NewUWomen today? Like, what's morphed into? Like, what are the different parts of it? Is it just an online community? Is it something that they have events? Help me understand it at a larger scale.
So I just originally wanted it just to be like an online event thing. But slowly it just started to turn into doing live events, where we started it in Taiwan. And that's when I realized that this is actually a global movement. Yeah. The live events are very powerful. Obviously the online events are cool. You connect and you're there and you can talk to one another. But those live events where women are able to bring guests and their friends and their family and feel that connection and that energy of that vulnerability, and women that have the vision to help others create that vision, is very powerful when you put that into a room of just women.
What do you think is some of the biggest challenges women face as entrepreneurs, growing their business, really bootstrapped from the ground level up? What have you seen?
I believe a lot of women struggle with belief in themselves, belief that they can do it. And I feel like that at times hinders them from actually growing into their full potential. I believe that women also struggle with just consistency, because life gets in the way, So when you have that encouragement and that help to kind of guide them and lead them and then train them, they just begin to dream again, like little girls. I always encourage them to go back to that little girl moment of like when you used to dream and get there again, because then the sky's the limit. They just are limitless at that point.
Yeah. Now, me as a man, I'm an outsider. I haven't been to these meetings, so this is really a pure place of curiosity. But I guess as a man, why is it only for women? Us men can't join. Is there a reason for that? Is there a security behind that? Can you kind of go into more details about it?
Yeah, so I actually did an exercise with a group of the women, and I had men in the room, and then I asked all the men to leave. Mm-hmm. And as soon as they left, I asked the women, like, I didn't even have to really ask them. I just looked at them, and they just said, wow, the atmosphere changed. Like, it just changed completely. So I believe that women already struggle with talking with one another and being vulnerable because they're scared of that judgment. But then when you add that other sex involved, the man's sex involved, then they almost feel like scared to be vulnerable too, because not only are they afraid of women judging them, but they're afraid of being so vulnerable and weak feeling in front of a man that they're less likely to share.
Yeah, I felt that firsthand when we were in Orlando. I remember you were doing a NewUWomen group. I was in there getting a few pictures, and one of the participants were like, Sean, leave.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'll come back in a couple minutes.
Right.
Hour later, they finally let me back
Right.
in. I was just in the hallway sitting there like, just waiting. So now, as you're talking about the online community, the events, can you kind of go over the different parameters? So I'm hearing there's an online community, there's an event. Now, how does this website, this podcast that'll be launching here soon, how does that fit in to the NewUWomen movement?
I'm actually really excited about the podcast. I believe that that's going to really help make this a real, true global movement, being able to have women be able to listen to it from all around the world in their language.
Yeah, very cool.
And it being one topic that we all can focus on, maybe during that month, and all feel like we're connected. Even though we're living across the world, we're all connected. We're in one global movement. So tying that in and helping them, we can have different teaching going on, training. It could be stories that maybe a woman comes on and shares, but that just kind of opens up and just really broadens our reach.
Can you give me an example of some of those episodes? So you talk about having different people on. I know you've already come up with the full series, which is so cool to have that first full season already completed and all the topics. Can you give me an example of a few of the topics that you'll be discussing or going over?
I really want to hit on mindset, scripting. That's something that I really worked on in the last couple of years, and it has changed my life in just the way that not only I view myself, but the way I'm able to talk and help other individuals, and then seeing that manifestation come to pass. Helping them, we're going to do a dream episode and how to just really focus and visualize your dream and how to funnel it down into a more narrow design path for you. I want to talk about sex and different things that females go through, that they're so scared to maybe talk about in other platforms. I believe that this is a platform that we can hit on some subject matters that a lot of women want to talk about, but they're scared to talk about.
I love that. And I get that there's a component of both events that the public can go to and events that you have to be a New Life member to attend. Can you discuss those two types? Because I imagine the podcast, that's public, right? Because it's on a public forum. It'll be on Apple, it'll be on Spotify, it'll be on all the major podcast platforms. That secondary event so if you do a podcast, the following week you do an online event, is that only for New Life members?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have the podcasts that are open and public, which will kind of help women find us, and then we'll have the private Zooms, which is for the New Life and NewUWomen distributors.
So how does somebody really earn that award? You just gave it out, your first Female Fire Award, only a few months ago, your global event in Taiwan. Which is incredible, the participants, the credentials. Can you kind of go over that to everyone watching, what the Female Fire Award is, what do you need to qualify for it, and what it really, how unique it is? Because you only give out, is it one a year?
One a year.
Okay.
Yep. And it's a global one, so it's not just a certain market.
Yeah.
So I got inspired by this award, believe it or not, from my grandmother.
Okay.
Which I haven't really discussed much, but she's always inspired me to be a certain type of character of a woman. I mean, just a little bit about her, just so you kind of understand. She practiced her doctor degree for 70 years, so she was so consistent. She plugged into her community. She was so selfless. And I just love her character, that I felt that it would be amazing to be able to award, and I feel like women need to have that acknowledgement and have that award when they're truly inspiring people and truly helping and being selfless, as a leader, and giving of themselves, of their time. I feel that women need to have that acknowledgement. They don't get it enough sometimes at home and with their friends and family. So I really felt like that it was important to acknowledge an individual each year that was really stepping up to lead. So some of the characteristics that I look for and that we're, as for achieving this award is, being selfless, owning who they are, growing, huge growth. I don't really believe that there's a certain title you need to get the award, but it's the growth. Did you grow? Have you been growing? Have you been plugging into the community? Have you been helping women? Have you been plugging into your local community? What are you doing to serve others? So I believe that is part of it. And then, obviously, you don't have to hit a certain rank to hit it, to be accepting this award. But we want to see that you're active. We want to see that you're plugging into the opportunity or business as well. And what are you doing to help others achieve that goal as well?
I love that. And the cool part about it too, we obviously New Life has revolutionary products that change lives, but the communities really bond that second part of it. And NewUWomen, a group created by women, for women,
yes,
is so unique in this industry. Okay, I feel like there's not in fact, I don't feel like there is really a plethora of groups that support and cater to women and their needs when it comes to building the businesses. So back to the entrepreneurship dream. So we get the online community, we had the podcast, we had the recognition. How can women use New Life and NewUWomen to grow entrepreneurially with different opportunity calls, meetings, and just going out in the public in their local community?
Mm-hmm. So with NewUWomen, I've noticed there's an individual that did a Facebook Live in our group page. And because I've created it to be such a judgment-free zone, that they have never done one before on their own profile page. So they came in and did one, and they were scared, and they were just so vulnerable, and just said, I'm nervous, but I'm going to do this.
I love that.
And now they're ready to do more of that on their own profiles, on their own local meetings. They're like, hey, how can I set up to do a small little one at my house or this or that?
Oh, okay.
That is what is helping them grow their business, by saying, here, come here, let's nurture you, let's train you, let's help you become that person that you are and better yourself. And then they feel so good about it. They feel so powerful, so empowered by what they just did, that they're like, I can do this. I can do more of this. So that's been such an amazing thing to see, these women that are actually stepping out and saying, okay, I can do this. We had a lady that spoke at our live event that we had for our tour, and never spoken in front of people before, maybe just a one-on-one or 2-on-1 or whatever, but she's never held a mic and stood in front of a group of people. And I had her speak for a couple of minutes, and then she walked up to me afterwards and was like, can we set up a NewUWomen event
so
local
cool,
that we could maybe share our stories with some of our friends and family? And I don't think that she would have said that or been open to do that if she hadn't broke that fear and that barrier of getting up in front of people. And I stood right by her and right there and held onto her because she was shaking and nervous, but that was what they needed to do to grow.
Yeah, I love that so much. All right, so if I want to join NewUWomen, the first step is I become a member of New Life, correct? What's the next step? What do I do next? Is it just as easy as going to the NewUWomen group, going to the website and just following the instructions and joining the online community?
That's how easy it is.
That's easy. Okay, all right.
When you get started with New Life, you have your team, and your team will plug you in to NewUWomen, which is just that you can find in the search bar on Facebook. And then from there, inside that community, we have a lot of different things as well. We have also the new platform for NewUWomen.com and all that kind of stuff that you can search for too and find.
And if I want to create my own event locally, in my local community, in my city, in my town, all they need to do is just kind of follow that, request a kit, and have that sent over to my home. So
all of that branding and marketing material, the guidelines on how to, get the support you need to create that local event. Yeah, it's all right there.
Oh, that's so cool. Now, as a man, how can we men, with our partners, as we end this on, endeavor in your life, how can we better support you as well? If I, obviously a lot of people and businesses out there, it's almost like a dynamic duo. They have both the husband and the wife are working together. The partners are working together. Often you hear about how women can support their men. When we flip it, what do you recommend some of the best way that us men can help women really become the best version of themselves and reach and accomplish their goals?
I feel that it's such a small little thing that men can do more often for us women, that it just changes the way that we even hold ourselves and present ourselves. Just when I get that just acknowledgement of hey, that was amazing with what you just said or did, that just changes. It just postures me up and just makes me want to go do it again. It's the smallest little thing. So as a man that's watching maybe their significant other or their spouse grow in this, just acknowledge, just say, hey, like, I'm proud of you. Yes, get involved in that community. Like, you go ahead, go and do that. And it helps them and guides them without saying, I really don't want you to go do that tonight, or not acknowledging that the fact that they did get up and share something or say something and not acknowledging it just shows like, well, do you see me? Do you hear me? That's the smallest little things like that we need as women, and it's so small, but it's so big for us internally.
And we have a lot of red type A personalities.
Yeah, so they struggle with that.
They struggle with that. I've seen it where it's almost like even some of the NewUWomen events you did, I can see the men want to go up there and talk, and you're like, go back. So obviously men, I'm a red, I'm a type A. We got to hold that back and just sit in the back angle, just be supportive, all right? Don't get up there and just start preaching. I'm just so thrilled that in January, this really local community, you said this grew organically, is becoming this global movement, and this whole ecosystem built around it. It's truly an accomplishment, and it's great because you're fulfilling a need that I think, let alone outside the industry, nobody has this piece. A lot of it's just done as an isolated women empowerment, and that's it. It's not, there's no call to action to it.
Right, there's you'll find like a lot of us like little like Instagrams or Facebook pages that you can kind of plug into that just show like positive quotes, but there's no connection. Like here, you can actually connect with us, hands on, belly to belly, like physically be there with myself and with other leaders and actually get that help and training you need right here and feel really a part of it. Call us up, talk to us. Like there's that community that you don't find anywhere else.
Well, before we close out, do you have anything you want to say, or just another reason why people need to join and why they should if they're just on the fence being like, it sounds so good, but it sounds a little bit too good to be true? What would you say to all those people that have just joined NewU Life or are in NewU Life, but they haven't yet joined this great community of support?
I just believe that this is a place to be. I personally want to help you grow in your business. I believe that you need to have vision, you need to have focus, you need to have consistency, you need to dream again like a little girl. And that here in this community, we're going to help you do that. And you need to love yourself. You need to find that love for yourself. Believe in yourself. Know that you are a queen. You are a leader. And when you get there mentally and in here, you will be able to go as far as you want, limitless into your business and into life. And you'll be fulfilled in all areas as women, as a wife, a partner, a mother, a friend. You'll be able to fulfill all of that and more when you're here and you're learning that with us.
Thank you so much, Katherine. I mean, it's so amazing to have a company like NewU Life that not only cares about the products, but that has people like you to create these incredible communities that focus on the whole person.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, everyone else here for joining us as well. And don't forget, January is the launch of NewUWomen online at newuwomen.com. The podcast, plug in, get engaged. Once again, Katherine, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.